Yo, what's going on, everyone? It's your boy CJ Edwards here, and this is my breakdown of Loyle Carner's Hugo album. Loyle Carner, one of my favourite artists in the UK. He has kind of a sound slash like a rapping style that I think should be held up to a higher regard, especially within the UK. You know, and it's not just him. It's people like Knox, Little Sims, Berwin. These kind of artists, the people that showcase their artistry on a different kind of level, I feel like they should be kind of bigger than they are or more known than they are. For what reason they aren't, I don't know, but it just is what it is. But yeah, this is kind of my favourite style of UK rap to listen to, if I'm honest, because it's very creative, as we're going to get into a bit later. First time I heard Loyle Carner was on his last album, Not Waving But Drowning. There was a song on there called Looking Back, and obviously there was other songs like Crispy and whatnot that really kind of like drew me to him. And obviously when I did hear that album, it then set up that anticipation. Okay, what's next? Went back, listened to the catalogue, it all sounded great, and I was like, okay, what's next for him? Then he dropped the collab song. At the time I did think it was an album. I did think it was the single for an album, called Yesterday with Madlib, and I thought the album was going to be called Mad Loyal. Because he said it on the thing, it was just all making sense. Hadn't dropped an album in a while as well. That didn't obviously come to fruition, but even within that song, everything about it was just, that was one of my favourite songs of that year. I think it was dropped in 2020, like lockdown November. One of my favourite tracks, and like that gave me more anticipation for this. And then I want to take you obviously to June. So I went to Park Life in June in Manchester, and Loyle Carner was there. And he said, okay, I'm going to play a new song. So when he said that, I heard the song, it was Hate. So when Hate's come on, although obviously because it's very distorted, I grasped a little bit of the song and what it was about. And I said, okay, this is a cool take on being mixed. It's a cool take on it. And then he played another song, which ended up being Georgetown, I believe. So yeah, now, so after obviously he's played both of these tracks, I tweeted, like, you know, both of them sound great. But then when I was like deep in, like after the weekend, I thought, God, alarm bells are ringing in my head. Only because now I'm not mixed race. I'm not telling anyone how to feel. Listen, your experience is your personal experience, and it. Majority of, let's say, mixed rappers, I'm going to use Logic, for example, the American rapper Logic. He talks about 2 black for his white side and 2 white for his black side. He doesn't feel accepted in these spaces because of, you know, his skin, because of being mixed, blah, blah. Now, once again, I understand it must be difficult. Like I said, I'm not mixed, and I'm not telling people how to feel. That's how he feels. What I'm saying is, he has said that so much within his music that he has become a meme. Like, and it's kind of like expected for him to say. It's like, you know, when people joke about Chance the Rapper, they joke and say, oh, he's married, like, because he speaks about it so much. This is what I didn't want for Loyle Carner. And when I heard the first 3 tracks in the album, I paused and I prayed to the high heavens and said, please do not make him talk about this any longer, because it's not something that I would be against hearing. But unless you come with a new perspective, and unless you come with a new kind of outlook on it, it's not something that we haven't heard before. Then I'm listening to the album, heard the first 3 tracks, Hate, Nobody Knows, and Georgetown. It did kind of surprise me, because he managed to not only mix kind of his story about being mixed, he mixed it with his upbringing, you know, the things that he's seen, like his relationship with his father, like he's done on previous albums with his mother. So it was great to see and great to kind of understand where his perspectives are. And then you've got Blood on My Nikes, which is, you know, the things that he saw through, you know, being mixed and being in these communities and being in these spaces, and talking about, you know, knife crime and stuff like that. Plastic, you know, Plastic is kind of, it's not my favorite track, if I'm being honest. I didn't really like it, didn't really understand it. Not that I didn't understand it, I didn't know why the placement was here. Like, it's just, I don't think it's needed, especially once again in the overall of the album, it's not needed. But once again, it's a break, so I do understand, but it's, yeah, I wouldn't have had it on here. So yeah, now that brings me to the last 3 tracks. It's kind of like a grand finale of the album, like a three-part story. So you've got A Lasting Place, you've got Polyfiller, and then you've got HGU. It's mad how he starts off the album questioning his identity as a mixed person, and then by the end of the album he's questioning his identity as like a parent, and if he's doing the right things for his child, and if he's providing properly, and if he's kind of doing the things that his dad didn't do, because he wants to have that better relationship, not only for himself, but for his son and his father. I think A Lasting Place is kind of, talking about mistakes, and, mistakes are going to be made as a parent, and it's how you kind of deal with them, which is a great story. And it's a great, there's a great outro. I think it's his wife, fiance, girlfriend, I'm not too sure, reading something after, and I think the baby's in the background, like just messing about. It's really nice. And then Polyfiller, which I think is a very smart flip on the word, because polyfiller obviously fills in holes. It's about the gaps that Loyle wants to fill in, that his father left within his life. Like, I feel like that it's really smart. Like, it's really smart. And yeah, and obviously HGU ends with, like, starts with, it's got the most beautiful start in it. Like, it's Loyle kind of coming to terms with everything off the album, with his identity crisis, and then his parental kind of crisis, and he takes a huge deep breath, and he's saying, I forgive you, I forgive you, I forgive you. Now I took it as him saying he forgives his dad. Now that I'm talking about it, I don't know if he's talking about himself as well, which is beautiful. And then, to even, if we're gonna reach a bit more, he could even be speaking to, like, himself as his son. So it's like, there's like a, crazy. That is definitely a thing, 100%. How is it not gonna be? Yeah, HGU is definitely my favorite track on this album. Like I said, man, the start is just beautiful. That I forgive you, I forgive you, I forgive you. Him talking to his dad. I also did a bit of research as well on the album, and he said that he learnt to drive in lockdown with his dad, and that's why the album was created, because of those conversations I had in that car, which is the car, I think it was like he said, like a red Polo, and I'm sure the car used in the Hate video is a red Polo. Just all ties in. Very sick, very smart. The album as a whole, very heavy, man. Very heavy, and I feel like it's very honest. I feel like it's a very strong look in the mirror, through kind of Loyle's eyes. And like I said, like, he's someone who had an identity crisis. I don't know him personally, or anything like that, but it seems like he had an identity crisis, and he's doing his best, or actively trying to get over it, or has. And that's a beautiful thing, man. That is a beautiful thing. Kind of owning up to, okay, I'm going to make mistakes as a parent, and kind of seeing how his father made the mistakes. And also the voice notes, man. Like, the voice note skits and the stuff within the songs. The one, I can't remember what song it's on, but there's one where it's like, oh, the parents need the children more than the children need the parents. And that is so true. Like, I just feel like that's so true. I feel like a lot of parents are lost, and then when they have the kids, they find purpose. Not me, but just some people that I spoke to that have children. Yeah, like, I just feel like it's a great thing, man. It's a great thing. Do I think it's better than Not Waving But Drowning? For me personally, I do prefer Not Waving But Drowning. I think it's better than Yesterday's Gone, but I don't think it's better than Not Waving But Drowning, personally. Not yet, anyway. I think it's got like 10 songs long, 36-minute runtime, so it's a very short album. You did scare me. You did. I can't lie. I heard them two tunes and I thought, my God, he's gonna turn into Logic. God, I'm so glad you never. I'm so glad. But genuinely, yeah, great album, great story. I like the only thing I didn't like on it was Plastic, if I'm honest. Everything else though, in terms of like it's very airtight. I say it's very airtight, but it's like there's a few there needs some polyfiller somewhere. But like it's just a bit like it's very smart, very smart album. Very kind of on the money and very truthful with what the points he wants to get across, and being open and honest. And yeah, man, it's very beautiful, man. And it's something that I'm glad that he's been able to kind of get out in music form. I'm glad that we are able to hear this as fans, and that he's been able to give this to us. I just think the next album needs to be the Madlib one. Selfishly, that's what I want. But I like I said, I do think it's a great record, and this is really good. If I had to give it a rating out of 10, I'd say I'd give Not Waving But Drowning an 8.5. So I would give this an 8. Like I said, I don't think it's better than it. I don't think it would overtake. Like there's not enough songs that when I listen to Not Waving But Drowning, I knew I've been listening to these songs forever. The last 3 songs on this are sensational. All the rest are great, but I'm not attached to them like I was to many songs on Not Waving But Drowning. Yeah. I think it's all good. I think it's all great. If you have any kind of, if you have a different perspective on this album, let me know. Loyle, if you're watching, keep doing what you're doing, man. Like, more Madlib tunes, please. More songs like Yesterday. Like, bro, do you understand how stupid that song is? My God. That's everything, man. But yeah, I'm going to be back soon. Very soon, actually. Stormzy's dropping. So I'll be back soon. New setup, as you can see. Had to change a few things. But yeah, that's been it. I've been your boy CJ. And I'm out. Peace.